Bolanle Austen-Peters biopic on relentless activism of Madam Fumilayo Ransom Kuti won the Oronto Douglas Best Feature Film Award at the just concluded 12th edition of the Africa International Film Festival. Fumilayo Ransom Kuti encapsulates the life story of renowned women's rights activist and mother of Afrobeat legend Fela Kuti, from her early days as the first female student at Abeokuta Grammar School and her marriage to clergyman Israel Ransom Kuti. The biopic follows her story as she confronts oppression from both colonial and traditional rulers leading up to the establishment of the Abeokuta Women's Union. Well, renowned filmmaker Bolanle Austen-Peters joins us now to have a quick discussion about Fumilayo. So good to have you here. Thanks for joining us on Newsday.
I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, let's start by getting your immediate reaction to hearing that Fumilayo Ransom Kuti won the biggest award of the night.
Well, I was very happy. I mean, naturally, there were a lot of films in contention. Over 700 films were put into this festival. So to come up on top for us was obviously a big deal. And looking at the trajectory of the story since its release, or better still, since we showed it to the public, I think my greatest moment was when Fela's family, Fumilayo's family, her grandchildren saw the movie and they were very happy. Of course, they wept naturally. It's a very strong, moving story about her life and all that happened to her in the course of her adulthood, so to speak. And then coming into this festival and also coming on top for us was added icing on the cake, so to speak. Needless to say, the story in itself is very strong, and the production value that we put into the movie was, I mean, from cast to the location. We shot in her actual home where she lived with her husband. We shot in the British Deputy High Commissioner's house in Lagos. So we put in all that we needed to do to give us a great story that can stand on a global stage. Yes.
And this is, I mean, what a great subject, an individual for you to capture as well.
Correct.
And we hear this is your 4th movie.
Yes.
And you have another one coming under your belt. So congratulations for that. What does winning this particular award mean to you, especially at this time in your career?
Well, I think, I mean, for those who know me, I started out as a theater director, and now I have about 7 films that I've shot. 3 are about to come out. Some are originals with Netflix. What I think is important is the fact that we have been able to transcend from theater to the screen. And I think what is important is the fact that we've been able to put together a phenomenal production team, which means that from our editors, in-house editors, to production associates, costuming, makeup, everything we have, everything now embedded in BAP Productions. Even the post unit, we have a team that we use. And I think to be a successful filmmaker, it's all of this, the different elements that we struggle with typically. But we've been able to do this. And in terms of infrastructure as well, we've been able to build our own film village in Ekwe. Nice. So all these things add and help to reduce the downtime and the amount that you spend trying to just fix things. It's very hard to get things moving in Nigeria, as you're aware. But having this phenomenal team that we've been able to put together over the last couple of years has really helped us.
Well, now, Fumilayo Ransom Kuti, I'm talking about the woman now. She had such a layered story as a daughter, organizer, wife, educator, mother. So I'm wondering, what impact did you want this film to have on the audience?
Fumilayo herself is an inspiration, and I think every Nigerian needs to watch it. Apart from the fact that she is a great woman, she was one of those who fought or led the independence struggle for Nigeria. Apart from that, as a woman and as a mother, she raised 4 phenomenal children. We all know them. They all rose to the top of their various careers. And I dare say that Fela took a lot of his personality from his mother. Most of the things that Fela did, the mother had done it before he did it. She was in politics. She changed her name from Francis to Fumilayo. She became very strong in traditional values. She was able to straddle the upper class society woman that she was with the market women. So she crossed over and did not have that leaning towards being an elitist. And that was why she fought for the emancipation and also the overtaxation of women. She was the one that led market women to do this. So her life is very exemplary. It's a life that I believe that a lot of people in service should try to emulate, because it wasn't about her. It was about value, what she could bring to the table. And over and above that, she was one single woman who was able to topple a sitting traditional king and confront colonial government at the same time. But she suffered for it, but she was willing to pay the price. So.
And you know, for most people of my age or my generation, most of the information we get about the Kutis, or even Fumilayo Ransom Kuti, is from art, from movies or from little bits of songs. We don't really know the gamut and the depth of what she has done. So I think it's really nice to have a piece to watch or be able to reference, because there's a lot of this information that you gave that I had no idea about, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Let's speak about AFFIRM. It's a huge movie festival. It's, I think, the biggest on the continent right now. Can you talk about the importance of a movie festival like this for Nollywood, especially at a time when our stories are so internationally coveted and needed?
Yes. AFFIRM is doing very well. I've seen the growth. And I think festivals generally bring a lot of value to the ecosystem or the country or state where they find themselves. They bring in local revenue to all the hotels, restaurants, etc., etc. But I think the most important thing is that it brings Lagos's film sector into global view. So we're spotlighted for that time, and the AFFIRM team have been able to harness or basically put everybody together into one space. And I was there throughout. The crowd, the acceptance of the festival is growing every single year. And for me, what I see is a future where Nigeria's film, it's grown as it is, but it's growing. And I see a future where AFFIRM and all the other platforms that we have in Nigeria become internationally recognized and become a force in the space. So they're doing a lot for us, and the ecosystem, theater and movie ecosystem that we're building in Nigeria is thriving.
Well done. Now, the film also won the award for Best Screenplay. Can you describe how you and the writer Tunde Babalola worked together on the script to bring the story to life?
So, you know, when you work in filmmaking or theater, a good film starts from a good screenplay. Without a great script, you almost cannot do much as a director. I've watched Tunde Babalola grow. I've been with him now for about 10 years. He wrote one of the other originals that is about to be released. And the way we work is very collaborative. He'll send the script. I will give my opinions and my views. You will think this is normal, but it's not always the case with every writer, because they get very passionate about their work. But he's very receptive to ideas, knowing that at the end of the day, it's my interpretation that is going to be seen on screen. So we work hand in hand together. He brings his views, and then once he's done editing that, I give it to my team, and then my team also re-edits, and we give it back to him. So it's this exchange of ideas. No one can do it all by himself, in my opinion. And script writing, in my opinion, is very collaborative. But everything starts from the guy who puts the ink on paper. And Tunde has done a great job with Fumilayo Ransom Kuti.
And you're right about that. The script is the foundation from whence the whole creative gamut spills. If it's shaky, then very shaky ground. So I have two questions for you. One about when we're going to be able to see the movie, if it's going to be released to the public, and the other about being a woman in the industry. I mean, we're talking about one of the great female icons of Nigerian history. And inevitably, you will be there as one of the writers and filmmakers, or the people who are able to put together our stories and package them. So what is it like being in the industry as a woman? What have you learned? And do you have any other advice for, for young up-and-coming, especially females who are trying to navigate themselves within this Nollywood art movie space?
First, the movie comes out hopefully next year, International Women's Day on Amazon Prime. So I'm super excited about that. They're putting their marketing might behind it. As a woman, I think the first thing, if you look at the movie that we're talking about, this movie is about a woman. It was directed by a woman.
Great.
The lead, all the main actors in the movie, Kehinde Bankole, Joke Silva, Aduni, so many women put the greatest performance that you can see today and that won us the prize. So women were in the forefront of this entire story.
What we like to hear.
More power to us, right? Yes. So I think that women are doing great in the space. And I think that the festival was also founded by a woman. So all of these Joma Ude, so all these elements suggest that women are doing great work. And I dare say that even if we look at Nigeria generally in all sectors, women might be underrepresented, but those that are there are speaking out and doing their best to bring more people on board. As a filmmaker, as a creative entrepreneur that I am, I have made the additional effort of setting up an academy that I run, supported by MasterCard Foundation. And to date, our focus is to train young adults, and we've trained 14,000 young adults in script writing, lighting, sound, animation, and business entrepreneurship. We've combined both online and on-site training, and this has sort of like, we focus more on women. It's 70% women. And we have offices in Kano, Ogun State, Lagos State, with studios where people do their practical classes. So for me, bringing women on board has always been part of the message or the ethos that I have. And I keep doing it, and I hope that somehow being a woman in a leadership position where I am right now is in itself exemplary. And I hope that I've been able to drop younger women just by looking at what I do. That is probably the biggest message that I have.
Oh, very well said. Renowned filmmaker Bolanle Austen-Peters, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.